Hey everybody. So I completely forgot to do the next episode of NHL Remember Him. I was just really busy this week and it completely slipped my mind. So I'm going to do it right now. So we'll have a Saturday morning edition of NHL Remember Him, and then next week it will go back to being Friday night at 7. Just completely forgot to do it this week. So sorry about that. We'll get into it right now. This week's NHL Remember Him. I believe this is episode 5, and it is a defenseman that I certainly remember. Had 2 long stints with 2 different teams where he was a big part of their defense, and that is defenseman Cory Sarich. So Cory Sarich is somebody he played up until 2014, so he's probably a guy that many of you will remember. He played 969 games in the NHL. He scored 21 career goals, 137 assists for 158 points. He was not an offensive defenseman by any stretch of the imagination. He was a stay-at-home defensive defenseman, and was a big part of the team's defense that he played for. Sarich broke into the league in 1998 with the Buffalo Sabres, but he didn't stay in Buffalo very long. By 2000, he had moved on to his first stop where he spent a long time, and that was the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I remember him on the Tampa Bay Lightning. He played in Tampa Bay from 2000 all the way to 2007, won a Stanley Cup in 2004 with the Lightning. That's really my first memories of hearing the name Cory Sarich and knowing who Cory Sarich was that 2004 Lightning team that he won a Stanley Cup on, because I watched that series between Tampa Bay and Calgary, watched every game. It was a great series. I loved the Iginla versus the Cavalier, the captains going at it, 2 great teams going at it. I was heavily rooting for the Lightning at the time, and it was great to see that team win, and Sarich was on that team. So that's where I first remember Cory Sarich, was in the 2004 Stanley Cup Final with the Lightning. So after playing with the Lightning for 7 years, he moved on to Calgary for the 07-08 season and played in Calgary through 2013. So another long stint there with one team. And then he finished out his career with 1 year in Colorado, the 2013-14 season, and then he was out of the league and retired. So pretty good career for Cory Sarich, almost 1,000 games. A number of years in the league. I can't do that math because I'm not smart enough at math to do that, but like 15, 16 years in the league, so a really nice long career for Cory Sarich, and a good stay-at-home defensive defenseman. His career high in goals was 5 goals in a season. That came in 2002-2003 with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And his career high in points in a season was 20, and that came in 08-09 with the Calgary Flames. So obviously he maxed out at 20 points. He was not one of these defensemen who puts up 40 or 50 points in a season. He was a stay-at-home defensive guy. So certainly not a flashy player by any stretch of the imagination. He also had over 1,000 penalty minutes, so he was a guy who, he didn't fight a lot, but he would stand up for his teammates if he needed to, and was good for, a couple scraps here or there every season. Not by no means a fighter, but a guy who was willing to stand up for himself or a teammate. So Sarich, definitely a guy that I remember, solid career in the NHL. Again, nothing Hall of Fame worthy, nothing that really stands out as this guy was a superstar, because he wasn't. He was a middle pair defensive defenseman for most of his career, but a very good one and a very solid one, and you need to have those guys. Not every player can be a top shelf Norris Trophy candidate defenseman. That's just, not everyone can be that. You need guys in your lineup who can be good 3, number 4, good number 5 or 6. And Sarich was a very good stay-at-home number 3 or number 4 defenseman for the most of his career. Maybe dropped down the lineup a little bit at the end, but still good, solid NHL career, and definitely a guy that I remember. So, you know, I hope that you guys remember Cory Sarich, because he was around for a long time and a very solid player. Somebody that I enjoyed watching, and certainly somebody who didn't get a ton of recognition throughout his career, and was never a guy who was talked about all that much, but just did his job for whatever team he was playing for. And there's a reason he stuck around in Tampa Bay for so long. There's a reason Calgary kept him around for so long, because he was an important piece of their lineup and their defense core, and he played good hockey for them. So, that is NHL Remember Him, Episode 5, Cory Sarich. So, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you remember Cory Sarich, Stanley Cup champion, long time in Tampa Bay, long time in Calgary? I certainly do. If you're a little bit younger, you may not, but I definitely remember him, and what a solid stay-at-home defenseman he was. So that is the end of episode 5 of NHL Remember Him. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media, check out offthewallhockey.com. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.